You know the classic horror movie scene, a solitary figure, the moon completely hidden by clouds, and that vast, silent city of the dead. But what truly makes the shot chilling is that ghostly, ever-present blanket, the fog. It slithers between the headstones, clings to the wrought iron gates, and seems to whisper of things we can't see. For centuries, this visual has fueled the myth that the mist rising from a graveyard is the ethereal residue of souls. Maybe they're lost, maybe they're lingering, or perhaps they're even rising. It's a perfect spooky atmospheric shot. But here's the real question. Why only here? Why does the fog seem to love the cemetery but ignore the park or the street right next door? Today, we're going to pull back that mythical veil and uncover the surprisingly scientific, very real reason cemeteries are almost always foggy. Get ready to debunk the eerie. To really understand the fog, we need to look at the ground first. Urban areas are huge stretches of concrete and asphalt that hold on to heat. Cemeteries, by contrast, are starkly different. Historically, graveyards were always built away from the main town centers. This often meant putting them on less desirable land, in low-lying valleys, near rivers or lakes, or just on the edge of town where the ground wasn't good for houses or business. These low-lying spots naturally collect cool air. When the ground radiates feet upwards at night, cold, dense air sinks into these hollows and depressions, the exact places where graveyards are often found. This creates a tiny, very localized weather event we call a microclimate. The second key factor is the ground itself. A cemetery is basically just soil, grass, and stone. Concrete streets absorb and keep heat, keeping the air above them warm late into the night. But graveyards with large exposed areas of grass and dirt cool down much, much faster. This rapid surface cooling is the first crucial ingredient for a dramatic mist. Fog is, simply put, just a cloud that has settled down onto the ground. And for any cloud to form, you need plenty of moisture. This is where the cemetery's unique ecosystem comes into play. Many cemeteries, especially older ones with mature trees, are intentionally built on land with a high water table. They need this to keep the dense, lush greenery that gives these places their somber, park-like feel. The soil stays constantly saturated, basically acting like a giant, slow-release sponge for atmospheric water. What's more, the big lawns and established trees are constantly going through evapotranspiration. This is the process where moisture is sucked up from the soil and then released back into the air as water vapor through the plant's leaves. Unlike a bare parking lot or a sterile city square, a graveyard is actively pumping high levels of humidity into the air above it, particularly after the sun goes down. Now put these two things together. The air over the cemetery is loaded with water vapor from the damp ground and the trees. As night arrives, the ground quickly chills the air mass directly above it. When that warmer, moisture-heavy air hits the colder ground-level air, the water vapor rapidly turns into tiny liquid droplets, that visible effect we call fog. The heavy stone monuments themselves act like big cooling plates, which only makes this condensation happen even faster. So the mystery is solved. That ethereal veil isn't a sign of paranormal activity, it's a perfect textbook example of the water cycle and local meteorology. But if it's just physics, why does seeing fog in a graveyard feel so profoundly unsettling? This is where the psychological factor, the human element, takes over. We are preconditioned by our culture. Simply seeing mist in a graveyard triggers centuries of literary and cinematic conditioning. The silence, the stones that mark finality, the shadows, and the presence of fog, which twists what we see and muffles sound, create a perfect environment for suggestion. The space is quiet, visibility is low, and our brain naturally fills those sensory gaps with things that feel dangerous or supernatural. The fog itself literally changes the scene. It blurs the sharp edges of the tombstones, turning familiar shapes into vague, looming figures. It isolates you, making the world outside the perimeter vanish. This feeling of isolation and ambiguity is a primal trigger for fear. In reality, that spooky fog is just the earth exhaling its moisture, perfectly regulated by the laws of physics. It's a natural, beautiful, and yes, slightly eerie weather pattern. Next time you spot that classic cinematic mist hovering over a field of graves, remember this. It's not the spirits, it's the combination of low-lying geography, high soil moisture, and rapid nighttime cooling. 3 simple scientific facts creating one of the world's most beautiful and enduringly spooky visuals. Let us know in the comments below what other chilling phenomenon you'd like us to demystify. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe for more amazing science. And as always, stay curious.